Okay, good morning. Starting a couple minutes late here. It is Wednesday, March 10th. We are here for our weekly Marion County Board of Commissioners meeting in the Senator hearing room at 555 Court Street. It is so good to see so many faces. It's been a while since, well, I can't see your faces because you all have masks on. But if you will join us, we always start our board sessions with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's interesting to see ourselves today.
Oh, not only to see ourselves, but to hear the Pledge of Allegiance with so many people in the room. It's always a great way to start our Wednesday mornings. Public comment today. We have a special guest. I see him right there, David Bean. David, if you'd like to come up to the side there, welcome. As always, it's good to see you, David.
County Commissioners, I want to ask to get more funding for special needs populations on this virus. Because a lot of disability people can't get there and can't get these shots because a lot of them live way out in the country. So I was wondering if we can get them to come to the state fair and get the shots. For Marion County will sponsor that now for this year and next year. Get everybody, disability people in Marion County for disabilities, get it done for this year and next year. Then we can go back to work and go to the dances from Marion County. Commissioners.
Thank you, David. Where's your Marion County stuff?
I'm working on.
We always like to see you wear your Marion County.
I wear that when I'm going to my meetings. I'm on the advisory board for voting to Marion County. I'm on that committee. I work with the mayor of Salem, and I work with the governor of the state of Oregon for special needs population, all 50 states. I'm working on that to the new president of the United States. He got me to do some stuff for him. So we're trying to get him to come out and look at Oregon. Thank you.
Well, we are so thankful for your service. Really appreciate it. Thanks, David.
Thank you. And I'd like to see women get more services too. Marion County.
Good.
In emergency for this year and next year.
Thank you very much.
For funding. Thank you.
Okay. Our next is our presentation from Katrina Rothenberger on COVID-19 update, and we're into season 2, episode 2, I think. Right?
That's correct.
It seems like this started about a little over a year ago, and we are so thankful for all the work that you and your health department co-workers have been doing. So welcome. Good to see you this morning.
Thank you. My name is Katrina Rothenberger. I'm the Public Health Division Director for Marion County Health and Human Services. And for today, March 10th, our coronavirus update. There have been 18,753 cases since the beginning of the pandemic. 289 people have died in Marion County. Looking back at the previous 2 weeks, February 21st through March 6th, we have seen 455 cases for a case rate of 130.8 per 100,000 and a percent positivity rate of 3.6%. So, and this has been a decline of just over 7% from the previous 2-week period. If you recall, the moderate risk level is 100 cases per 100,000 or 348 cases in a 2-week period. And I wanted to share that between February 28th and March 6th, we had 175 cases with a 2.9% positivity rate. And people have been asking us about, is this because testing has been going down? But during that 1 week period of February 28th through March 6th, We actually did over 10,000 tests in that 1 week period. So our testing levels are back up to above average, actually, for Marion County. So this continual decline is pretty encouraging. And again, we could potentially see, if this trend continues, a moderate risk level in the next couple of weeks. For the week of March 4th, Oregon received 83,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine, 78,000 doses of the Moderna vaccine, and 34,000 doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Marion County will be receiving at a minimum 6,800 doses this week, 5,000 going directly to Salem Health, and 1,800 to Marion County Health and Human Services. There will also be some going directly to federally qualified health centers and pharmacies in Marion County as well.
Katrina, just the numbers you said as of March 4th, did you say 78,000 or is it 7,800?
As of March 4th, for the number of vaccines to the state of Oregon, total.
Okay,
Mhm.
great.
Yes. And then over 1 million Oregonians have taken either their first or second dose of the vaccine, and about 71,000 of those were administered in Marion County. We are expecting an influx of vaccine in the next couple of weeks, which is super exciting as we prepare for expanding vaccine eligibility, and it'll hopefully make access a lot easier. We've been working closely with our partners to prepare for this increase and identify strategies to allocate them efficiently. We know that the fairgrounds is able to do upwards of 10,000 doses per day. We've been checking in with our other health system and primary care partners to see what their maximum capabilities are per week. And OHA does estimate that the high throughput sites could be complete by the end of May, and that the strategy will then shift to a primary care model where people can go into a pharmacy or primary care office and get their shot. The CDC also released new guidance for fully vaccinated individuals. So if you're fully vaccinated, that means you have at least 2 weeks since your last vaccine, since your last dose. And the CDC stated that you may visit with fully vaccinated people indoors without wearing a mask or staying 6 feet apart. Visit with unvaccinated people from another household indoors without wearing a mask or staying 6 feet apart. And refrain from quarantine and testing if you don't have symptoms of COVID-19 after close contact with someone who does have COVID-19. The CDC still recommends continuing the COVID-19 precautions while in public, though. One question that we're getting recently is, will the vaccine protect me against variants of the COVID-19 virus? And all the available COVID-19 vaccines provide some protection against the emerging variants, and we're continuing to monitor their efficacy. And the best way to prevent yourself from getting the virus is to get a vaccine when it is available to you. And we hope that that will be widespread in the next couple of weeks. So the race against the variant is on with getting vaccine shots into arms. And I think that our teams and health system partners here in Marion County are doing an excellent job. We have great communication with our partners. We talk with them weekly, sometimes a lot more than that, based on new information and new doses coming. So, thank you.
So I have 2 questions. One in regards to Mr. David, who came and spoke just a bit ago. And can you give just a little bit of input on the record about what the health department is specifically doing for those specific populations? I know we've had quite a few meetings.
Yes, absolutely. So we've been working with our health department human services division to identify folks to come in and receive their vaccine at the health department. We held several smaller clinics. We've also been working with Northwest Senior and Disability Services to reach folks who are homebound. And we also have a partnership with FEMA, who is coming in and going out to people's homes and these smaller group homes to make sure people are getting their vaccines. And then Salem Health also has a very specific pathway for folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities to obtain vaccine in a quieter, more serene space. So we have the phone number that we can call. It's kind of like their back line that allows us to help people with those challenges get a vaccine in a timely manner.
Okay.
Good.
Yep, and one more question. My next question is, yesterday there was a fair amount of public chatter around data that was released from the Oregon Health Authority in regards to positive cases and metrics and movement. And I was just curious if you could just one more time tell the public where they can look for Marion County's information, and if on that data dashboard, if the information is specific to Marion County and the levels that are defined and what our per 100,000 looks like going forward, and if we're helping people kind of track that.
Sure, so this information is available on the Oregon Health Authority website. Their website, quite honestly, is a little challenging to navigate, even for me who accesses it daily. What I typically do is, I will Google exactly what I'm looking for and hope that it comes up on the OHA website. However, it does take a little bit of time, but we really want people to look for the risk levels. That's the key word. In Marion County, the high risk levels are between 100 and 200 cases per 100,000. Dropping down to moderate means that Marion County would need to be below 100 cases per 100,000. And that 100 per 100,000 threshold is 348 cases in a 2-week period. Our percent positivity rate for the previous 2-week period was 3.6%, so that should not be an issue in those risk level metrics. We're currently in the high risk level, which is 130.8 per 100,000, which was 455 cases and a 3.6% positivity rate. We did see a 7% decrease in this 2-week period compared to the previous 2-week period, so I do think that we're on the right track. And looking back 1 week, from 2/28 to 3/6, there were 175 cases. And 2 of those were adults in custody, and those figures are removed from the final calculation. So if we continue this trend for this week that we're currently in, we could be very close to that moderate risk level.
Thank you. I bet you had no idea you were going to be a math expert in your current career, but you do a great job, and I'm really grateful for you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I may,
Yeah.
I do have one comment I want to make, because I think sometimes the numbers can be confusing. Throughout this pandemic, our positivity rate has been at or above 9%. So to have a 3.6% positivity rate means that it's come way, 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 way down. And I think sometimes that's not, we don't celebrate that enough, that we don't have half the positivity rate that we have had during the pandemic. We have less than half the positivity rate. So the transmission is really going down. It's something to celebrate. And also the state as a whole and Marion County are doing way better than most of the country and have throughout this pandemic. So I think that's also important. Sometimes when you hear terms like high risk, it makes you think like, oh, we must be worse off than other places. But that's not true. We're much better when it comes to COVID spread in our community than most other places in the country. So I think those are 2 important things to keep in mind as well.
Absolutely. I would completely agree. And the percent positivity rate, when I looked at the previous 1 week this morning, I was shocked to see it was under 3%. And ecstatic, because we have a lot of other important public health challenges coming up that we need to address as well. So I think COVID hopefully will be just another part of my day and not the entire part of my day.
Katrina, thank you. When did we open? Was it a week ago Friday, right? We opened, we moved down, so we've had about 10 days of restaurants being open in a certain capacity. If there was gonna be a spike from people dining in restaurants, when would we see that? Like,
We probably see it this week.
yeah, okay, so if we don't see a spike, it's probably a good thing that we understand that people in restaurants aren't probably the cause of why we had spikes. It was probably because, never mind.
Okay.
They were probably staying home and partying at home without masks on, et cetera. So anyways, we're not gonna get started on that because I just started it, right? Okay. I just wanna say thank you for all the work that you're doing and the stats and everything you provide to us weekly, if not twice a week, and Ryan's sitting here with you too. And the staff that is probably watching, I know Diana and the shot clinic and all that's going on. So thank you very, very much for all you're doing. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Commissioner, we've got an action item that we need to change under
Public Works.
Public Works, item number 5. We need to substitute.
It's
a
item
revised.
number 6.
It's actually item number 5.
Oh, it is number 5?
Yeah.
Great, well, number 5. So, actually, I'd like to make a motion to substitute a consideration of a revised board order. It has some minor editing changes in place of the one that was posted online. And it is in regards to considering approval of an order of adopting temporary use restrictions on North Fork Road Southeast, Gates Hill Road Southeast, and Pioneer Road Southeast.
I'll second the motion.
So just to clarify, the motion is to substitute a updated board order under item number 5 of Public Works. Okay, any other discussion? Legal counsel, you have anything to add before we vote? Okay, thank you. All those in favor of the substitution signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay, that's done. Okay, consent calendar.
Whose turn is it, Mr. Chair?
It's technically mine,
Then you should go.
because you get the calendar today. I learned how this worked last week in this conversation. So, Mr. Chair, under the consent calendar, under finance, I make a motion to approve an order of reappointing Patrick Vance to the Marion County Budget Committee with a term ending June 30th, 2023. And under Public Works, schedule final consideration to adopt an administrative ordinance for March 17th, 2021, granting zone change comprehensive plan amendment ZCCP, case number 20-005, Mark D. Stadelli, trust of the Mark D. Stadelli Living Trust.
I'll second the motion.
Yeah, motion is second on the consent calendar. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay. That's done. Our first action item is consider approval of an order appointing Trevor Womack, City of Salem Police Chief, and Joseph Budge, City of Woodburn and Hubbard Fire Chief, to the Marion County Public Safety Coordinating Council with the terms ending March 14th, 2024. I'm going to ask Chief Budge to come on over. This is my item to share a little bit. Obviously, the Public Safety Coordinating Council plays a really important role in Marion County. It serves as an advisory board to us as county commissioners in discussing really important issues to public safety for all the citizens of Marion County. There's over 30 people that serve on this board, and one of the things that we realized after we had the fire emergencies, we didn't have fire representation on our Public Safety Coordinating Council. Chief Womack will be here next week. He was unable to be with us today because of another meeting that came up that was a high priority for him. And he is the new City of Salem Police Chief. And to appoint a police chief, the ORS says that other chiefs in the area have to agree and support that particular chief. And we have had always the large city chief. That's what he'll represent. And then in the future, with the retirement of Chief Ferris at Woodburn, we'll be looking for a small city chief to appoint as well. So this is a part of the process that happens as we see retirements and changes. And so I want to welcome our fire chief from Hubbard, and I didn't realize it was Hubbard and Woodburn. So
Yeah, correct.
Chief
Those
Budge,
are-
go ahead and introduce yourself for the record.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. My name is Joe Budge. I serve as the fire chief for the Woodburn and Hubbard Fire Districts. Those are two adjacent districts that cover about 81 square miles of North Marion County. I've started my career as a volunteer for the Hillsborough Fire Department and back in 1987. A year later, I was hired as a recruit firefighter for the Portland Fire and Rescue, served 29 years there, and retired as a deputy chief when I accepted the job as fire chief for the Woodburn Fire District, and a year later assumed the job of the fire chief at Hubbard as well. I look forward to the opportunity to serve on the Public Safety Advisory Council and bring the perspective of the fire service to this group. The fire chiefs all meet regularly as part of the Fire Defense Board organization. We meet 4 times a year at different locations around the county. The Fire Defense Board is comprised of 20 fire chiefs from around the county, and it's a very good group for gathering information on the needs of the fire service, and I plan on communicating those to this commission as well. I'm also very interested in following the progress and promoting the progress of the countywide radio project that this group has undertaken. I'm very pleased that this is being addressed. It is woefully needed for the public safety in Marion County, and I would like to continue to move forward with the goals of this commission to establish a state-of-the-art communication system for public safety. So I will be communicating back and forth with the Fire Defense Board and bringing that my experience and knowledge and the needs of that group to this commission.
Great. We're glad to have you. Questions?
I don't have any questions. I'm glad that you're willing to participate. I think we've worked together in the past and I've
Yes.
enjoyed that, so I look forward to the future.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I just want to say thank you for representing the fire districts on our board. I know that's, we saw how important that was in the fires, so thank you for stepping up and volunteering your time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Chief. And as somebody who was evacuated during the wildfires, I know that fire departments from near and far were involved in that, and Woodburn obviously played a part in that. And so thank you. And we look forward to having that input and on the Public Safety Coordinating Council as we move forward and making decisions and working together with fire and police and our district attorney and everybody who serves on that council. So it's a good place to be.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Welcome. So I will take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve an order appointing Trevor Womack, City of Salem Police Chief, and Joseph Budge, Cities of Woodburn and Hubbard Fire Chief, to the Marion County Public Safety Coordinating Council, with terms ending March 14th, 2024.
I second the motion.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All right. Thank you, Chief, for being here, and we'll look forward to seeing Chief Womack next week. Okay, our next item is under Board of Commissioners, consider approval of the 2021 federal agenda. And who are you?
Good morning.
Oh, my gosh. Barb Young, I believe we're going to have via Zoom a couple other people that will join us. I don't know if Kirby and Michael are going to be here, but I think they're with us
Yep,
via
there
Zoom.
they are. They should
This
be
is-
with us.
I see their
Just-
little faces.
This is our first, I think this is our first Zoom meeting during a board session. So this is new technology, obviously not new to everybody because we've been doing it for the last, as I said to Katrina, the season 2, episode 2, right? We've been doing it for the last year plus. So Barb, welcome.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. So we'll see how this works. Hopefully it will go well. For the record, Barb Young, Government Relations Manager for Marion County. Today before you, as Commissioner Cameron said, we've got the 2021 federal agenda before you for consideration. This has both grant and policy initiatives within it for your consideration. Marion County has engaged the services of CFM Advocacies for the last several years, and they've helped us develop our 2021 federal agenda, and then they will represent us on Capitol Hill as well for our issues. Before I turn it over to CFM, I just want to touch base quickly on our process to put this agenda together for you. Throughout the year, as I'm in meetings with you and I hear issues come up, I put that in the tickler file for things that we want to work on in the next year. Also, I work with our department heads and our elected officials and see, are there policy issues? Are there things impacting your department we need to know about? Are there infrastructure needs, different needs that you have that there are no other funding streams for? And so we look for those different grant opportunities. Once we put our ideas together, then I give those to CFM, who then further vets those. They determine, are there funding streams that we can look at for grants? They touch base with our delegation offices and make sure that there's interest there and support for the agendas that we would, or the issues that we want to move forward with. So that's just a little bit about the process. So I also want to just take a moment and thank CFM. These guys are great to work with. They're very responsive to us and our needs. They're very effective back in Washington, D.C. And I think they're a true asset for us in representing us in Washington, D.C. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Michael and Kirby to do a bulk of our presentation today.
Welcome.
Thank you, Barb. And Kirby's figuring out this PowerPoint going right now, too. Just let me know if you guys have trouble. Can you see that on your end?
Yes.
Yeah.
So good morning, Commissioners. For the record, my name is Michael Skipper with CFM Advocates, and I'm here with my colleague Kirby Garrett. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today, formally present to you the county's 2021 federal agenda. It goes without saying, I think that Kirby and I would much rather be out in Oregon right now speaking to you in person, but we're hopeful to we'll be able to make that happen soon. Although it's like 70 degrees in DC right now, so there's worse places to be, but as Oregonians, we'd always rather be out there in Oregon. Before we begin too, I'd also like to thank Barb and all of the county staff that play such a critical role in not only shaping this document, but contributing to the county's success at the federal level each year. We couldn't do what we do without their hard work and expertise. So the county's federal agenda is what, as Barb describes it, informs and shapes CFM's efforts on your behalf back in DC. It outlines the county's range of federal interests and priorities, from grant projects to the county's position on pressing legislative or administrative policy. We've worked hard with county staff to prepare this agenda to best position Marion County for success in 2021. But we do like to stress that the agenda is a living document that may require changes throughout the year to reflect the county's priorities or the federal legislative and funding landscape that can change from any given day on DC. But we're excited about this 2021 agenda and eager to begin working with you and the congressional delegation to implement these priorities. So if we go to the next slide. So in terms of what we'll be speaking about today, we'll try and go through this as quickly as possible. So feel free to stop us if you have any questions on any item, but we can also take questions at the end. We will briefly touch on CFM Marion County's record of success together, particularly focusing on recent successes in the last 3 years. Then we'll move through the 2021 federal agenda, describing all the different projects and policy priorities of the county. And finally, we'll give you an overview of the political landscape in DC and what we expect to see and hear in 2021. So, next slide. So, CFM and Marion County have enjoyed a lot of success working together over the years, accomplishing a number of legislative and policy victories. But one particular measure of success we do like to use is the federal funding that we've been able to secure for Marion County's projects. Federal funding certainly isn't everything, but we see part of our role is to help ensure Marion County and its residents see a return on their federal tax dollars. This is all competitive, congressionally appropriated funding that's going to go somewhere, and we try our best to make sure that Marion County gets its fair share. So I'm not going to go through each of these projects, and this isn't a complete list, but we have secured over $27 million in competitive federal funding since 2007 on Marion County's behalf, which I think is important just to highlight these because as you can see from this list, it has helped implement and create and complete critical projects in public safety, transportation, criminal justice, and mental health projects and initiatives throughout Marion County. So we're proud of that long record of success. More recently, if we go to the next slide, we've helped secure over $10 million in federal funding for Marion County since 2018. This represents a 33-to-1 return on the county's investment in federal advocacy. So just to quickly go through some of these, in 2018, on behalf of Marion County, we worked with your staff to secure $8.1 million from the U.S. Department of Transportation's Tiger Grant Program for Mill City to repair and rehabilitate its North Santiam River Bridge, the historic pedestrian railroad bridge, and make a number of streetscape improvements throughout Mill City. Tiger grants, which have been renamed Build grants since this award, are incredibly complicated, 30-plus page applications, complete with a benefit cost analysis and a lot of technical information. Since Mill City doesn't have the capacity or the staff resources to put something like that together, CFM and Marion County took the lead on writing and submitting this application on Mill City's behalf. After it was submitted, part of our kind of comprehensive approach to the federal grant advocacy, we met directly with DOT officials in Washington, D.C. to advocate for the project and coordinated with the congressional delegation, including Congressman Schrader, Senators Wyden and Merkley, but also Congressman DeFazio, since part of this project was in his district, to help pull this over the finish line. It's important to note the Tiger Build grant program is one of the most competitive federal pots of money out there. Every year, DOT receives hundreds of applications requesting billions of dollars. And in this particular year, Mill City was one of just 41 awards nationwide and the only grant award in the state of Oregon. So we were really excited to get that win for them up in the canyon. The county also received 2 grants from the U.S. Department of Justice, totaling over $1.3 million to expand your law enforcement assisted diversion program, or LEAD. The LEAD is an initiative where law enforcement works with municipal governments to try and divert low-level property or drug offenders from the criminal justice system towards treatment and case management resources. After we learned this was a priority for the county, we identified this grant program as the most realistic funding source. We, along with former Commissioner Carlson, who was leading this effort, met with DOJ staff out in DC. We worked with your staff in the Sheriff's Office to edit the grant application and secured congressional support for the project. This is another really competitive pot of money. They don't have a lot of money to dish out, so we were very excited to get not only one, but 2 of the awards that DOJ selected that year. And then finally, in the funding secured, the Secure Rural Schools Title III correction. We've talked about this in years past, but just to give some quick background, prior to 2012, counties like Marion used SRS Title III funds for a range of purposes, from law enforcement patrols, training, equipment, and other activities necessary to both prepare for and respond and carry out successful search and rescue missions. In 2012, however, the Government Accountability Office issued a report to the Forest Service limiting allowable Title III expenditures solely to carrying out search and rescue missions, prohibiting the use of funds to prepare for or prevent them. So that left Marion County and other rural counties with hundreds of thousands of Title III funds, but almost nothing to spend them on. The annual eligible expense Marion County would have been able to spend was like maybe $40,000 they'd be able to spend this money on, and they had $500,000 or almost $600,000 in the bank. And to top it off, any of the unused funds were required to be returned to the U.S. Treasury at the end of the fiscal year. So this was something that was affecting a lot of counties, but nobody was really spearheading any effort to solve it. So together, we just decided to take the lead. We engaged the congressional delegation and stakeholders and embarked on what would become a multi-year effort that ultimately culminated in a victory just in time. We, with the help of the Oregon delegation, in particular Senator Merkley, Congressman Schrader, and former Congressman Walden, We were able to introduce standalone legislation in the House and Senate correcting the GAO report, and ultimately had that language included in the fiscal year 2018 omnibus appropriations bill. So as you can see, this freed up almost $600,000 in Title III funds Marion County couldn't spend on what it needed to, and prevented the county from having to return all that money to the federal government. And this, another important thing, yeah, that's about it. And then, so federal COVID relief. So including the $1.9 trillion in what they're calling the American Rescue Plan, that may be signed by President Biden as early as this week. The federal government has spent approximately $5.5 trillion in COVID relief since last year, which is just an unprecedented amount of money, and something that would have been unimaginable, at least by me, at this same time last year. Marion County did receive funding from the CARES Act and the most recent COVID relief legislation that was passed late last year. Under the CARES Act, the state and local CRF funds, or coronavirus relief funds, were only sent to states and municipalities with populations greater than 500,000. So in Oregon, that meant only the state, the city of Portland, and Multnomah and Washington counties were the only entities to receive direct payments. Thankfully, the state did pass down some of that funding to Marion County, and the county received $11.4 million in the state CRF funds, which it primarily used to support public health efforts and small businesses. In the most recent bill, the rental assistance, Marion County also received $10.4 million in rental assistance funding from the Treasury Department to help families and individuals pay the rent and keep the lights on during the pandemic. And then finally, we'll go into more detail of this later in the presentation, but in the current $1.9 trillion proposal that is actually being debated on the House floor as we speak, and as I mentioned, could be signed by President Biden into law this week, Marion County is set to receive a direct allocation of $68 million. Now, we can't really take credit for the first two, but for this one, we worked with NACO and the National League of Cities for the past year, advocating that it's important that every county receive a direct allocation if there's going to be additional relief funding, and that the funding be flexible enough for each county to determine and use that funding to achieve the most benefit in their own community. In the CARES Act, which Marion County, again, didn't receive a direct allocation, the funding was very restricted. It could only really be used on public health efforts and necessary PPE. This $68 million is going to be much more flexible. Eligible costs, according to the bill language, it will largely depend on any other restrictions Treasury decides to put on it in implementing the legislation, but in the bill text, you're allowed to replace lost revenue, mitigate the economic impact of the pandemic, which could include grant programs for small businesses or residents to pay their rents or mortgages, as well as capital projects to include necessary infrastructure like broadband, sewer, and water. So again, this funding will be distributed directly to Marion County and likely sometime in the next 45 days or so, assuming this bill doesn't get tripped up. And then the last item, there was a 2-year retroactive reauthorization of the entire Secure Rural Schools program, which had expired and most people thought was gone for good, but it was reauthorized for 2 years, and Marion County received a total of $2.4 million over those 2 fiscal years. So now to the 2021 federal agenda, which, as you know, we like to separate into 2 sections: our planned projects that are eligible for federal funding, and then your policy and legislative priorities. So starting with the projects, this year we are again keeping a focus on the North Santiam Canyon and the remaining infrastructure needs, especially after the fire, how the fires impacted those communities last year. These folks really need help, and the county has made it a priority to help them rebuild better than ever. So there are 5 projects we've identified that the county is focusing on this year in the canyon, most of which the county has already invested a significant amount of staff time and financial resources to develop plans, secure partnerships, and bring these projects closer to a point where they can compete for federal funding. So starting with broadband, the lack of broadband infrastructure in the canyon is well known. But it's a significant hurdle to economic development up there. Marion County will be exploring opportunities to seek federal funding for broadband deployment and has already really, as I mentioned, paved the way by funding a broadband strategic plan that compiled data, completed surveys and speed tests, and developed recommendations for how to deploy broadband up in the canyon. And then the lack of wastewater infrastructure is another significant barrier to economic development in the canyon. This is a project that the county's economic development team has spent years and a lot of resources developing from the ground up, building stakeholder support, creating feasible plans, and funding strategies. The economic regulations or environmental regulations and restrictions, even with a possible exemption from the three basin rule, not only limit the region's options, but severely increase the price tag of this project. As you can see, $60 to $90 million. So the goal is to piece together several different funding streams from the local, state, and federal level. And then the Detroit Lake marine excavation. Detroit Lake has several times failed to reach its seasonal depth necessary to support a full recreation season, which, as you all know, area businesses depend on to maintain solvency year-round. So Marion County is leading an effort to secure funding for strategic excavation to mitigate that seasonal economic risk and extend boat recreation season at Detroit Lake. The North Fork Road improvement, so this is anticipation of the Federal Lands Access Program opening up again. It only opens up every 2 to 3 years, but it's a grant program intended to fund projects that not only create but improve the access to federal lands. So Marion County plans to submit FLAP applications or grant request to improve safety along the canyon's North Fork Road and repair damage caused by last year's wildfires. This North Fork Road is a critical access to parks, BLM and county land, private timberland, camping, fishing grounds, as well as I think over 100 private homes. But the constant threat of landslides and the lack of guardrails pose a pretty serious safety risk to travelers. So this funding would, the application hasn't been submitted yet, but we anticipate the funding would help build guardrails and install fee kiosks at the entrance to North Fork Road and Gates Hill Road. And then for the last project in the canyon, Marion County plans to seek $12 million to install new permanent radio equipment at 2 sites and replace equipment at several radio sites throughout the county. The wildfires caused significant damage to these sites, one of which was completely destroyed, and this public safety radio system is critical to supporting emergency response in the upper North Santiam Canyon. So this project we're still working on developing it, but we plan on seeking federal funding for it this year. And then finally, the I-5 Aurora-Donald interchange, which you all know well. This is a project that's been top of mind for the county for several years, but there's been significant progress in the last few years to make it a competitive ask at the federal level. As you all know, this is a dangerous intersection. It's inefficient, and over 32,000 vehicles per day use it. A significant amount of the planning design has already been completed by ODOT, and a preferred interchange solution, the diverging diamond interchange, has been selected. And the project is moving forward. ODOT is moving forward with the project with almost $30 million in state funding that was approved in the state transportation package a few years ago. But there's a large funding gap still remaining, about $25 million, in order to complete the whole project at once. So without that, ODOT plans to do this project in 2 phases, with the first phase consisting of improvements to I-5, and the second phase will include a completion of the full diverging diamond alignment. But Marion County is working with ODOT right now to try and avoid that phased approach by securing $25 million in federal funding this year to allow for construction of both phases of the project to move forward at one time, so all the benefits can be immediately realized and we avoid the millions of dollars of temporary construction costs and the uncertainty of when that funding for the second phase will be secured. So like I said, this is something we're working on right now. We're submitting an application. We're working with ODOT. ODOT will be submitting the application, but we're writing it requesting $25 million from DOT's Infra Grant Program that's due March 19th, so in 9 days. And like Build, Infra is the other really competitive, popular DOT transportation grant program that receives hundreds of applications and only selects a fraction of those. But our goal is to be successful, and after the grant's submitted, we'll be doing everything we can to try and make sure that happens. We'll be meeting with the congressional delegation and folks at DOT to try and push for this project. And then I will turn it over to Kirby to talk about the policy and legislative priorities.
All right. Well, yes. Good morning, commissioners. Good to be with you virtually. Just again, for the record, my name is Kirby Garrett. As Michael said, we wish we could be with you in person, but hopefully this is I think this is our first virtual presentation of the federal agenda, and hopefully our last as well. We miss you guys and look forward to getting back there and meeting with you in person. But yeah, as Michael said, so this is the policy portion of your federal agenda. So these are the specific policy items we've outlined that are priorities for Marion County. Some of these are legislative goals, some are regulatory. But overall, these are the items, outside of the projects that Michael outlined that we will be advocating for, or for certain ones even against. So starting from the top here, surface transportation reauthorization. I'll talk about this a little bit more in a few slides, but Congress has to take action on a surface transportation bill this year. The current authorization expires at the end of September. So we are advocating for, a strong, robust bill that will help address the backlog of infrastructure needs that Marion County has, but other communities do as well. But as part of that, we're also, advocating for a bill that will allow counties to directly compete and access federal resources. A bill that will provide, funding for the programs that are actually of interest to you, like the Federal Lands Access Program that Michael was mentioning, and then finally would streamline a bill that would streamline permitting processes and actually make it easier and more effective for you to use federal funds to deliver your projects. So the next item on here is the Aurora Airport. So we continue to advocate for the FAA to maintain approval and support completion of a 1,000-foot runway extension. As you know, this is something they have actually already approved and included in their master plan, but are for some reason still popping up obstacles for its completion. So we're advocating for them to, just act on our initial inclusion of that and get that thing funded and completed. The next item is Detroit Fish Passage. So we're advocating for the Corps to only take action through methods such as their preferred alternative in the draft DEIS that would minimize any drawdowns of the reservoir. As you know, anything else could have significant impacts to the recreation economy up there in the Detroit area. So we are strongly advocating for consideration of that. And then the next item is secure rural schools. As Michael mentioned earlier, SRS was extended a little over a year ago for fiscal years 2019 and 20. Since we are now in fiscal year 2021, we are advocating for another extension of those funds, but ideally a more permanent solution. And on that note, the county supports responsible, sustainable policies for reforming federal forest management on ONC lands and United States Forest Service lands like you have within the county's borders. So we're advocating for policies that would reform current practices to provide, long-term financial certainty to support your local economies through increased timber harvest, but also while doing that, improve forest health and reduce the risk of catastrophic wildfire, which, as you know all too well, is a serious and growing threat to the county. After that, opioid and meth funding. As you all know, the COVID crisis has kind of piled on to what was already an ongoing crisis with opioids. And in addition to that, in recent years, Marion County has been seeing resurgence in meth usage. And so the county, supports policies, and we're advocating for policies that would improve coordination at the federal level between federal, state, and local partners, and also help support you with resources like equipping officers with Narcan to make sure they're better equipped to respond to these types of incidents. I can pause there for a second to see if you guys have any questions.
Questions?
Seeing none.
Maybe just a comment, Mr. Chair.
Yep, go ahead.
Well, I just want to reiterate, Kirby, that the Detroit Fish Passage, our concern is to make sure that the Corps doesn't do something that's going to hurt the community up there. Some of the proposals were, planning on draining the lake for years at a time. So I think, I just want to make sure that's clear, because that's a really important issue to the community up there.
Yep, absolutely, Commissioner, appreciate that. And that is the exact concern that we're, have taken to the delegation and the agencies, and trying to make sure it stays top of mind, so that any action they move forward with, it keeps that in mind and does not have those types of adverse impacts. So thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Commissioner, I think that's a good example of when the process did work, because their initial one was to drain the lake for I don't know how many years and do it, and they went through their process and got feedback, realizing coming up with a preferred alternative to do it when under the normal curve. So we just want to stay on that and make sure if they're going to move forward with that, if and when that we're there. So it's a good point. Other questions, comments?
So we've got, a few more slides, but if there's anything on this one, I just wanted to give you guys a second to address them while we're here. So I can go ahead and move on to the next slide here. So these are the last 5 items we have on the policy initiatives part of the agenda. So the first item here is repealing the inmate and juvenile corrections exception for federal health benefits, which is a lot of words, a long title there, but as you guys know, currently counties cannot bill federal health insurance programs like Medicaid for jailed inmates that are awaiting adjudication. So basically this puts Marion County on the hook for substantial medical costs and diverts resources away from other critical needs that you guys have. So we are advocating for legislation that would extend this federal health coverage. And this is an issue that we have been happy to see, get some more attention nationally. There's been legislation finally introduced on this in recent years. And so we are, we'll be looking for that and working with lawmakers who are drafting that legislation to help coordinate and push that. COPS technology funding. So we're advocating for Congress to reinstate funding for police department equipment needs. Currently, there's not really great options at the federal level through their programs to support various equipment needs at the local level for police departments. So this is something we're looking for, that Marion County could pursue competitive grant funding for various needs, such as in Marion County, a modernized dispatch system, or newly available crash scene technology, which would help the force respond to those types of incidents. And then overall funding levels through the appropriations process. So we are advocating for Congress to maintain or increase funding for the programs that support your priorities, either through formula dollars or through competitive grant programs. Many of these Michael talked about earlier that are directly would help support the projects we are pursuing through grant applications. And then waste to energy facilities. So with the new administration, there's a renewed focus on climate change and energy. And so there's a lot of discussion of policies that could potentially affect waste to energy, including its treatment as renewable energy. So changes to that could affect eligibility for your facility there in the county for tax credits and other funding opportunities for infrastructure improvements. So we are advocating for continued recognition of the renewable energy that waste to energy technology does in fact provide compared to other methods. So the final item on here is wild and scenic river designations. So as commissioners, we have talked about, there have been some recent legislative proposals to designate very significant amounts of rivers in Oregon with wild and scenic designations. These are designations that are intended to protect and preserve these resources, but obviously they come with restrictions that, depending on the location, can really limit the ongoing and important activities that might occur in those places within the county, and as a result have a negative impact on access and local communities and their economies and jobs. So there is a proposal that was introduced earlier this year by Senators Wyden and Merkley, and it does include segments of the Santiam River and its tributaries. So right now we're in the process of working with your staff to determine the exact geographical areas of those rivers and what the proposed restrictions would be. And then once we're finished with that, that will inform and direct our approach, but we will be voicing the county's views on those impacts to the senators and the rest of the delegation. But as I mentioned, we're working hard to figure out the precise impact of what we're looking at there. So with that, I have 2 more slides, but if you guys have any questions on these policy items, I can give you a pause there for a second.
No questions.
All right, so shifting gears here, I'll go through this pretty quickly, but as you may have heard, we did have an election last fall, and the story basically is that Democrats now control both chambers in Congress as well as the White House, but in Congress they control both chambers by the very slimmest of margins. It literally couldn't be any tighter in the Senate. It's a 50-50 tie, broken only by Vice President Kamala Harris. And in the House, Democrats were able to retain their majority, but they lost a pretty large number of seats, considering that they won the White House in the same election. So, what does this mean for governing with Democrats having the slimmest margin in decades and a tie in the Senate? Basically, it's very, very difficult and very tricky for governing. It requires either the use of a lot of bipartisanship or very creative and careful use of tools like the budget reconciliation process, which allows Democrats to move legislation without overcoming a Senate filibuster. But that is, as I mentioned, a cumbersome process and very tricky, where they have to meet a lot of requirements for legislation that has to have a budgetary impact. It can't just be policies. And again, even if they use that tool, they can't afford to lose a single Democratic vote in the Senate without picking up a Republican. So with that context, what we're looking at right now, we are well into the first 100 days of the Biden administration. As you know, the president enters office usually with some political capital that they seek to leverage in this initial period. President Biden has centered his first 100 days around what they describe as he describes as a rescue bill, and then we'll turn to a second step of a recovery bill. And these are both in the context of the COVID pandemic. So basically, item number 1 is the $1.9 trillion COVID relief package that Michael was mentioning earlier. Congress has almost pushed this across the finish line, and they will likely be taking the final vote in the House today to send this to the president. You can see the major items of the bill right there, including, as Michael said, $350 billion for state and local governments. This includes direct assistance to counties with broad flexibility to cover revenue losses, COVID response, assist local businesses, and complete essential capital projects. But also of note, and this is very, very interesting for Marion County and other Oregon entities, at pretty much the final step or minute of consideration of this bill in the Senate, Senator Wyden, who is chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, was able to insert into what's called the perfecting amendment. He was able to secure money in there for areas that have been, quote unquote, adversely affected by federal policies. So the translation is Wyden was able to cleverly insert about $1.5 billion for secure rural schools and Pell-eligible counties. This will be delivered through a new grant program. So we'll have to await details from Treasury to see how exactly this is unveiled. But just for context, in a normal year, PILT payments nationwide amount to just over $500 million, and SRS payments amount to about $254 So this is nearly double the annual funding for both of those programs. So we'll be watching that closely to make sure it's included in the final bill that the House passes and is signed into law, but then also keep you guys informed on the implementation of that program to see how Marion County can access those funds. Otherwise, you can see the other, kind of big ticket items. Obviously, in a $1.9 trillion bill, there's a lot of stuff in there. But you can see $58 billion for transit and transportation. That includes transit agencies, airports, and state highway agencies. It does include direct payments to individuals, $1,400 checks, but restricts the income threshold compared to previous bills. Of course, includes money for health testing and vaccine rollout. Includes additional dollars to support small businesses, including a specific pot for restaurants, which is a new feature of this bill. And then money for reopening schools as well. There's an unemployment benefit extension. They agreed on I think a $300 per month amount that will, but they extended it all the way through September. And then eviction moratorium extension and rental assistance. So once Congress wraps up work on this COVID relief legislation, they will turn to, as I mentioned, the second priority of the Biden administration, which is a transportation / and/or infrastructure bill. Conversations are taking place right now as they work to shape this bill, but it will probably closely resemble what the House passed last summer, which was a $1.5 trillion package. But now that Democrats control both chambers, it is very likely that Democrats will at least aim to pass a even higher bill than that. So no matter what, we expect it to be big. We also expect it to include and largely be centered around the pending transportation reauthorization bill that I was talking about earlier, given the deadline for that in September. But congressional leaders haven't really decided how they're going to approach this yet, because they kind of need to test the waters to determine that. So, yet to be seen is whether they will try to do this with bipartisanship and whether that will be a real concerted effort, or just kind of have a meeting and then continue on with their own bill. And then if they do that, will they use the budget reconciliation process? And like I mentioned, will they try to move this transportation piece separate from a different infrastructure bill that would include, water, broadband, housing, economic development type stuff, as I have listed there. So we're staying in close touch with members of the delegation, which in Oregon involves a lot of key players in all of these discussions. Peter DeFazio chairs the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, which will write most of the bill in the House. Senator Wyden chairs the Finance Committee, which will help fund the bill if there are offsets for it and if they decide to pay for part of it. And then Senator Merkley is on the Environment and Public Works Committee, which in the Senate side writes the highway portion of the bill. So all goes to say, we've got some key members from our own delegation that we are staying in close touch with. Throughout all of this, we'll be monitoring and advocating for the provisions that would be helpful to Marion County that we outlined earlier. But all in all, there is a lot moving back here in DC right now, and we're working hard to make sure that your voice is heard in these discussions, and we'll be doing that for all the items that we had outlined on your federal agenda as well. So on that note, I'll conclude there, and if you have any questions, I'm sure Michael would be happy to answer them. So.
Yeah. So I just want to make a comment. I love that picture. Thinking, it's probably a year ago. I think I came back after visiting you on March 4th, actually, and got to run through the Capitol, the grounds, and I just see that picture, and I know it doesn't look like that today, based on things I've seen, but it's always inspirational to go to Washington, D.C. and think about the history and the founding fathers, and here you are right in the middle of it all. We really appreciate the overview of what you just did. I'll say this, that if there's going to be money flowing, which it sounds like there is, we got to do everything we can to make sure the citizens, the 340,000 citizens that we represent, get their share of that. So I really appreciate what you're doing back there, and it's always a good education to get your emails and your updates. So I want to thank you very much. I'll turn it back to Barb, unless you have some final comments that you want to make, Kirby or Michael.
I don't think so. Thank you, commissioners, for all of your support and guidance. We miss seeing you guys back there, but we also miss having you back here in DC and taking you around the Hill and to the agencies. So look forward to doing that again quickly. And so thank you all for all of your leadership and for all of your staff's great work as well. We appreciate it.
Great.
And Commissioners, I just ask for your approval of our 2021 federal agenda.
Well, I think it's Danielle's motion, but Mr. Chair, because you mentioned getting funding to our people, I did mention something to Barb, and I think I should probably say it to you guys as well. One of the things that they're talking about is bringing back earmarks, which were eliminated in Congress in 2011. And it's something that I'm uncomfortable with because there's been just a history with earmarks of encouraging corruption and buying votes and that sort of thing. Additionally, we're looking at getting, it looks like, about $90 million over the last 2 years. So there's going to be a lot of resources flowing here, and I'm excited to have that discussion. But I did want to put that on the record that I don't think that earmarks are a good way to go. I'm concerned about it, and we've been really successful getting funding because of Kirby and the folks at CFM and Skip. I think we should continue with what's been working. And I would be cautious about weighing into that area.
Try not to sneeze.
Okay, great. Well,
I can make the motion.
your thoughts have been noted, and I want to say that I'll just say this, that whatever the process is to make sure we take care of the citizens of Marion County, I'm supportive of that, and we'll do everything I can to make sure we get the funding that we deserve to us here in Marion County. And I appreciate, you didn't talk about that process, but I think that there has been some, if it does happen, there's been some sideboards on it to try to make it something that's not what it used to be. So that'll be encouraging to see how, if it comes out, how that plays out and what the process is. But right now, I want to appreciate you for everything you do, and we've seen the history of the funding that we've obtained through the history of the way that things have been. But it'll be interesting to see how things play out as Congress develops. So, Barb, we good?
We're good.
We just need a motion to approve the plan.
I make a motion to approve the 2021 federal agenda.
And I'll second the motion.
You have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Commissioners.
Thank you, Barb.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Kirby.
All you do.
Thank you, Skip.
Thank you, commissioners.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to Health and Human Services. Consider approval of a proclamation designating the month of March as Intellectual and Development Disabilities IDD Awareness Month in Marion County. And Carissa, I think you're gonna kick us off, and you probably have some people you want to introduce. Welcome.
Are you gonna start the proclamation? Kick it over? How do you?
I'll finish.
So, do I start it? You start
Not
it?
yet.
I know, but.
So good morning, Commissioners. Thank you. For the record, my name is Clarissa Neufeld. I'm the Human Services Division Director, and I'm here today to present about March as Intellectual and Developmental Disability Awareness Month. I have brought with me some guests. So I'll start over here with Kathy Schnebley, who is our IDD Advisory Committee Chair. Tiffany Olson is next to her. She is the residential director for Shangri-La Corporation, which is one of our larger residential programs, providing about 19 24-hour residential homes and support to an additional 30 or so individuals in supported living, so supporting approximately 100 individuals. And then to my right, we have Marco Benavides, who is our Human Services Diversity and Inclusion Specialist, helping us with integrating disability into our emergency preparedness efforts. So at the end of my presentation, I would like to be able to give them all a little bit of an opportunity to speak as well. So I'll go through a presentation. As commissioners know from previous years, we have come before you each March to share about intellectual and developmental disabilities. Just for some background for our viewers, we have in 1987, President Ronald Reagan proclaimed March as Developmental Disability Awareness Month. And really, this is an opportunity to promote respect and to educate about intellectual and developmental disabilities, about the citizens within our community who experience intellectual and developmental disabilities. We have several folks in our audience today as well who are parents or professionals or individuals who experience intellectual and developmental disabilities as well. Just some interesting facts. Oregon, I'm always proud to share that Oregon was one of the first states, or was the first state in the country to close its institutions. So you may be familiar with Fairview, which is just up on the hill, or was up on the hill in South Salem, and led the way for other states in the country to also follow and begin supporting people in their home and community. Here in Marion County, we have over 3,000 children and adults who receive intellectual and developmental disability services from Marion County, as well as our 3 private case management entities who support adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities in case management. And then we have approximately 350 24-hour residential and foster homes throughout the county that support children and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And we have over 1,600 personal support workers that support children and adults in their home or in their family home throughout the county as well. So this year we decided we would focus on the year of challenge that's been amongst us all. So as you all are aware, we have had 3 major disasters here in Marion County, and our intellectual and developmental disability community has not been spared from these challenges. So I thought I'd provide you a little bit of information here. We've had here the data, there's some data here in terms of individuals in Marion County and statewide who have been confirmed positive for COVID over the last year. And this data is as of February 22nd and reflects that we have statewide 522 individuals who have been confirmed positive, and here in Marion County, 86. And I know in the grand scheme of the numbers that have been shared by public health and OHA, this sounds like a small drop, but it's many of these individuals are people who live in congregate care settings, and ends up being a much more complex situation when they are confirmed positive. We have a number of direct support professionals and personal support workers who've been confirmed positive, and these are the numbers of people that have actually reported to us. That makes up 21%. Marion County's positivity rate here makes up 21% of the direct support professional out there in the state, which sounds like you think about 32 counties across the state. That's a pretty big percentage for Marion County to have. So we've been heavily impacted. Deaths, we have had individuals pass, their family members pass, and workers. We have direct support professionals who have who have experienced the passing. And we don't actually have exact numbers because we have confirmed people, and then we have probably 3 times that many who we suspect died of complications due to COVID. We have had over 100 outbreaks here in Marion County in IDD congregate care settings. That's just in IDD congregate care. That's not the aging or other long-term congregate care. This is just IDD. And then we worked with the state in being able to allocate over $80,000 in supports distributed to families who are having to support their special needs kids at home due to school closures, and trying to get those out within days. And then helping to achieve vaccination accessibility, as David talked about those challenges with being able to assure that individuals and their families and providers all had access. And there was many challenges around that, but Marion County, I'm really proud to say, helped lead the way in terms of helping move ADA accessibility and accommodations forward in many of the vaccination clinics here locally as well as statewide. So just some pictures of some of our folks getting vaccinated at Marion County's Public Health Vaccination Clinic. Wildfires also touched our community. We had over 600 individuals and families that were in the level 1, 2, and 3 evacuation zones. Over 30 24-hour residential and foster providers that had to be evacuated. Numerous staff, providers, and families had damage or lost homes as well. Winter storms. We had nearly all of our IDD congregate care homes that lost power from a few hours to multiple days. And the Marion County Emergency Operations Center responded to numerous calls of individuals and families who had more complex medical needs and behavioral supports. They couldn't go to a hotel. They couldn't go out all the time to get fuel for their or food if they were going multiple days. I was working in the Emergency Operations Center, and a high volume of those calls were people with pretty complex medical needs. Everyday Heroes, just an acknowledgement that this has been, taken a complete village, of course, to support the individuals and families. A big shout out to our congregate care providers who really have carried a large part of the burden around our outbreaks and our positive cases throughout the county. Public health was immediately responsive when we were having challenges trying to figure out, how do we get support for positive individuals? How do we, particularly in the congregate care settings where language is different from public health language versus our typical language that we use within our services. Case managers have taken on an extreme burden. Every one of these disasters we've had to have case managers calling individuals to confirm they're okay, to figure out where they are in evacuations and how we can support. And this is not just Marion County case managers, but this is our support service brokerage case managers as well. Families, as all of us who have children know, having our kids at home has, for education, I learned I really am not meant to be a stay-at-home teacher. That is not a strength of mine. But then you imagine trying to support somebody, a child with special needs. They can't benefit from the online learning, many of them, expecting them to sit still and exchange interface with a computer for 3 hours a day is not realistic. And so families really took a huge burden, of and challenge, and they continue to as schools start to reopen. They end up, still being kind of left behind a little bit. So continuing to try to support and advocate for our families there. And our community partners who've implemented practices, we have multiple partners who are opening vaccination clinics and trying to figure out how we can work together to support getting those vaccinations to homebound individuals, to drive-throughs, to accessible private spaces so that folks aren't having to stand in line for 4 hours, for a vaccination. So just really appreciate the support throughout our community. And then our call to action is these 3 disasters have really highlighted how much, how important it is for our emergency preparedness response mitigation efforts to include people with disabilities, and that's broadly defined. I mean, the wildfires, we were getting phone calls from families saying, we had to drop everything and leave, and my child's wheelchair is at home. We don't know if our house is here, but we need to be able to figure out how to transport. We had people calling us saying, I'm disabled, how do I get out? Is there transportation? Is there a bus? Because they couldn't drive. So being able to know how we can support in that capacity. So we actually applied for a grant, a national grant through the National Association of County and City Health Officials to support improving our emergency preparedness efforts. And we're awarded one of 10 grants in the country. So just received that. And actually Marco has been brought on to help support that work. And we're continuing to engage because although today is about intellectual and developmental disabilities, we know that we play a key part in helping to advocate all support for all people with disabilities in the response to emergencies and disasters that happen within our county. So just some pictures of individuals experiencing life in our community. Just want to thank you for your support. You guys are always so very supportive. I'd like to be able to give our guests a little bit of an opportunity to say a few words as well. So thank you.
Absolutely. Kathy, would you like to say some words?
Well, let's see if you can hear me through this
We can.
mask and everything.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm really glad to be here today just to provide extra moral support to the fact that we have made a huge amount of progress in our county. I've worked either in education or mental health or both, for 40 years, and nothing has compared to the disasters we've seen this year that have really highlighted the fact that even though we've made great strides in our community and our country for individuals that experience disabilities, we have some real thinking to do about how to keep them supported during these kinds of emergencies. So it's very helpful and really important that we continue to have the backing of as our local, county, and federal legislators and supporters to make sure that we continue to think about how we can be providing services for our families and the individuals that are living independently. Because they struggle very hard to be independent and be on their own, and then we have these disasters. It's like, wow, we never thought about this. So now that it's on our mind, we want to make sure that we continue to plan for the future. For hopefully we don't have another year like this, but just in case we do, we want to make sure we're well prepared. So thank you very much for your time.
Kathy, and thank you for your service on the advisory committee.
Glad to do
Very
it.
appreciate it. Thank you. Tiffany, welcome.
Yes. Good morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Olson with Shangri-La. I really want to echo everything that Carissa has said, as well that Kathy mentioned. As coming from the provider standpoint of keeping people with intellectual and developmental disabilities safe and as healthy as possible and in their homes, gaining skills and independence, just the pandemic has been, it's taught us so many things. It's definitely given us that opportunity to go back and tighten up policy and protocol where infection control is mentioned and referenced, as well as just the toll it's taken, not just on the individuals we serve, but also their support staff and the support staff's families and the individuals that we serve's families. Because if we don't have staff healthy enough to show up for work, that could impede our supports to the individuals we're serving. Specifically, at Shangri-La, we have had 11 individuals that we serve be positive for COVID. We have had one person pass away, and that was last summer. That was, extremely difficult. We've had 29 of our direct support professionals positive for COVID in our IDD residential department. So every one of those positive cases, though, really it creates the need for even more resources to be available. And we have leaned heavily on our partners at Marion County and have been so thankful for the support, especially for testing teams, because as mentioned earlier this morning, it's not very convenient for all individuals to be able to go to some place like the state fairgrounds and, that number of people and be tested there, or to get vaccines. So it's been great to have the support of testing teams or vaccines coming into the programs. So, and aside from the pandemic, with the wildfire, we did not have any individuals that we support with IDD that had to be evacuated, but many of their support staff did. And that brings us back to that conversation about when we have a staffing ratio and say it's one staff working with 3 individuals, when an emergency happens, they have to stay in that program. They have to support those individuals. But when they're worried about whether their house is, in an evacuation zone or they're having to leave, it's really laid cause to have more resources available for those relief. And of course, the ice storm, like Carissa mentioned, I think every one of our 24-hour programs in this county did lose power for at least 24 hours. And we had one that went as long as 2 weeks. And that was some other, an electrician had to come out before that. But so to deal with the pandemic, distancing, all of those issues, and then trying to figure out hotel accommodations and things like that, it's definitely been difficult. But we appreciate the focus on, IDD Awareness Month, as well as the work that's already been underway in this county for emergency preparedness and kind of strengthening that up. So thank you.
And Commissioners, I would just like to acknowledge Tiffany specifically, because Shangri-La was one of the first homes to have an outbreak. And frankly, our state partners, this was all new, trying to communicate with public health and trying to figure out their language and their jargon and definitions about things was a real challenge. And we walked alongside each other, trying to figure out, how do we do this? And we, again, were leaders within our community as well as within our state in helping state partners identify what needed to happen. But Tiffany in particular has been meticulous about the data that she provides and the information and the reporting that had actually allowed the state to build the framework that they needed for their reporting system. And so I'm just always proud when we have, whether it's our department or our partners who are leading the way statewide in developing and strengthening our support systems for our communities. So, and then Marco.
Marco, welcome. Are you going to pull that microphone up? There you go.
Good morning, Commissioners. Marco Benavides.
Is that on?
I just need to talk a little bit louder.
Okay.
Technology.
Marco Benavides.
I think
Is
we
that
can hear
better?
now.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So Carissa provided a good overview of the situation in terms of the different disasters that happened, and also the challenging in serving the disability community, including the intellectual and developmental disability. So my position is funding through NACO grant for the next 18 months, and I will be assessing the community response, how we are responding to crisis situation, disaster situation, and how we address the need of the disability community, including intellectual and developmental disability. That is a challenge across the nation. We are not unique. There is many challenging. I think we can talk about accessibility, transportation. Recently, the previous presentation, we're talking about public safety radio system that is going to be in place. We're going to spend $12 million. One of the questions for me is immediately is to address the issue of how we're going to communicate with people who have disabilities issues. So this go across the different programs, the different organizations serving people with disabilities. And hopefully through this grant and the process that we are putting in place, we're going to assess the community, we're going to identify areas for improvement, and we are coming together to talk about, okay, how can we better prepare for the next disaster, which we already have 3 back-to-back. So that's the process that we're going to implement. We feel excited about what we have in place, but also we're looking forward to improve from what we have.
Thank you, Marco.
And I will just note, we are working closely with Public Works and Kathleen Silva, our County Emergency Preparedness Coordinator as well, and she's really supportive and excited about this work as well.
Questions, comments?
Well, I wanted to echo your comment, Carissa, about dealing with COVID, because we ran into it with the nursing homes where DHS didn't really know what to do, and our public health folks really stepped up and sort of helped them identify the issue, implement good policies, and sometimes it included hounding them and telling them over and over, hey, we really need you to focus on this. So thank you for what you guys did and what you did, and just making sure that people in these communities are safe.
So I just like to say thank you to our staff, to the family members that were impacted by this and stood strong and under a lot of stress and pressure, and the case managers that are out there, and then the individuals who felt the brunt of this, not the pandemic, the fires, the ice storm. We can all relate. Everybody in this room has been impacted. And today, just listening to this, it's one more area that we don't necessarily, it's not top of the mind of how this year has impacted various individuals. But what I did hear is we need to be better. And I think we've learned some lessons through this whole thing in a lot of areas. And the one thing I want to continue to stress, and it's not necessarily directed at this group, but it's all the citizens that we serve with, is preparing individually for a disaster. And I've always thought about this, taking care of my own health and my own. You almost feel selfish sometimes because you're taking care of yourself first, but that's really unselfish. Preparing, taking care of yourself so you can serve other people. And I want to continue to say that is, do we have water? Do we have a go bag? Do we have all those things that we need? And then organizations, obviously the county will continue to see how we can be better prepared. But we all know during this year, communication, I'm going to look over here at my vice chair of the board, the communication can always be better and needs to be better. And but preparing individually so that I can take care of my family or the others that I serve is going to be a real critical message that we need to continue, because it's not urgent, but it's very important when something happens. And we saw that in the ice storm. Did I have fuel? Did I have a generator? Did I have water if I was on a well? So I just want to thank you all for your service and the challenges that you faced and for coming forward this morning. And we've got a proclamation that we'd like to do, and I think, Mr. Chair, if you are...
It used to be the chair.
All right, you can take it over, right? If you want to make a motion, and then we'll read the proclamation.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve a proclamation designating the month of March as Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month in Marion County.
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. And if you want to start the proclamation, that'd be great.
Before the Board of Commissioners from Marion County, Oregon, in the matter of proclaiming the month of March 2021 as Intellectual and Developmental Disability Awareness Month in Marion County, a proclamation. This matter came before the Marion County Board of Commissioners at its regularly scheduled public meeting on March 10th, 2021. Whereas no fewer than 3,000 residents of Marion County live with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And whereas historically individuals who experience intellectual and developmental disabilities have been marginalized, suffer discrimination, and lack of access to their community and basic services, including employment, affordable housing, recreation, health and human services, and disaster response, and
Go ahead, Commissioner.
We're punting to me now.
Yeah.
Okay. And whereas Marion County acknowledges and values the unique gifts, talents, lived experiences, contributions, and abilities of each individual who experiences intellectual and developmental disabilities. And whereas Marion County believes individuals who experience intellectual and developmental disabilities should have the right and opportunities to live, work, and actively participate in their community. And whereas Marion County strives to support the choices of individuals who experience intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families by promoting and providing services that are person-centered, person-directed, flexible, and community inclusive.
And whereas Marion County is committed to encouraging, supporting, and developing service options that assure equitable, diverse, and inclusive access for individuals who experience intellectual and developmental disabilities. And whereas Marion County seeks to advance social and policy change so that individuals who experience intellectual and development disabilities, their families, and their communities may live in a world of choice and possibility. Now and therefore, it is hereby proclaimed the month of March 2021 as Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month in Marion County, dated in Salem, Oregon on this 10th day of March 2021. And we have a copy of this proclamation. We'll all sign it for you, and you can take one with you. Thank you all for being here. David, thank you for always being here with us. We appreciate all your service. Yeah, okay.
The ink is wet.
Wet ink.
I didn't want it to smear.
Okay.
Ryan's up next.
Let's see, we're still under Health and Human Services. Consider approval of amendment number 2 to the room block rental agreement with BP Hospitality LLC that extends the term date through June 30th, 2021 and adds $684,000 for a new contract total of $2,884,000 to provide isolation for Marion County residents with no other source of housing that test positive for COVID-19 and require quarantine. Ryan, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Ryan Matthews, Administrator with Marion County Health and Human Services. And I am here seeking approval of Amendment 2 with our room block rental agreement with BP Hospitality. And this amendment will be seeking to add 3 months in terms of the length of the agreement as well as 3 months of funding. And this room block rental agreement has been used to, well, I guess I'll go back a bit. So this was originated in June 25th, 2020. And if you think back to that time, it was a much different situation with COVID-19 than what Katrina was able to share with us this morning. We were seeing rising number of cases, really high positivity rates. And we were also, in working with a lot of our community members, there was some significant concerns about the ability to isolate and quarantine several of the individuals that we had with COVID-19. So this was really identified as a resource for those living in congregate care settings, multi-generational family homes, or farm worker housing as kind of the primary referral source, as those individuals are really unable to isolate and quarantine if they do test positive for COVID-19. At that time, we were seeing a lot of transmissions in congregate care settings, a lot of outbreaks, and certainly a large percentage of our cases were related to household transmission. This was a strategic decision to invest in a resource to help reduce the risk of spread of COVID-19 in our community. And really the goal was to prevent large outbreaks that could otherwise be avoided. Once we began contracting with BP Hospitality, this did require that we had to start adding staffing and security to the location. We had to figure out protocols like how to safely distribute PPE to those working in the hotel. We built relationships with local vendors for things like food delivery, laundry services, sanitation and disinfecting of the rooms, as well as transportation for individuals that needed to get to the hotel or then to leave the hotel to get back to their communities wherever they were located in Marion County. We established safety protocols, and we've successfully and safely operated this for the past 9 months. We did receive approval for a non-congregate sheltering project through FEMA, where 100% of the reimbursement for this room block rental agreement will be done with FEMA funds, bringing those federal dollars into our local economy. I think that was really helpful. When you think about the hospitality industry, that's also one that was really, really impacted through this pandemic. Being able to have this contract in place with BP Hospitality allowed, maintaining the jobs and keeping this facility open and have it stay operational as a resource for our community. And I really want to give a shout out to the hotel owner and hotel staff, because they've been incredibly flexible throughout the duration of this agreement. It was one thing when we started talking initially about COVID-19 and the need for isolation and quarantine, but of course we've been through other disasters, as we talked about in previous presentations here. In the fall, we had the wildfires, and we had over 200 individuals who were displaced due to the wildfires staying in this hotel over the span of about a 6-week period of time, while we, again, looked for better long-term landing spots for them. But this hotel was, at that point in time, was converted basically to help support the wildfire evacuees. We just went through an ice storm, and we used this hotel for those that were impacted with the power outages and really needed a place to stay. So that became another resource that we were able to help for those in need. And this continues to be really a tremendous resource for our COVID-19 team, our case investigators, allowing them to not have to, call all around the county to try to find a specific hotel room to put people in or to find a location, knowing that we have this resource available that we can offer to people, and it saves them time so they can do more of their more important work around case investigation, contact tracing, and other critical functions. And I think that while we've made significant progress with reducing the cases in our community, and we're seeing that incidence rate go down, I think we still want to keep this as a risk mitigation effort by having this available over the next few months, with the hope that as vaccines continue to be deployed across our county, that hopefully by the end of this amendment, this would no longer be needed. But we feel like at this time, it's still needed over these next few months as we try to come towards the end of this pandemic. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about the hotel operation or any concerns.
I don't have any questions. I just want to say thank you to you and your staff for all the creative measures that you've come up with over the last year. And since I've been here, always really responding to random needs. This hotel really has been very beneficial to the process of keeping people safe and healthy. But also during the ice storm, it just made sense for particular people who, I talked to a single mom who had an infant, and she'd gone like 4 days without power. She didn't have a car. She was just a mess, and there was just nothing. And so when I called and said, can we do this? I actually called Jan first, because that's what we do, and then called you. You guys just made it happen, and it brings peace of mind, and the community just doesn't get to know the things that are really happening. So I just want to say thank you. It's just really important, and you guys do a quick, good job.
Thank you, and I don't know, Stacy Neal might even be watching. She's our office manager that really manages the transportation and all the coordination. I mean, she has just been amazing through this whole thing. So if she is watching, just want to acknowledge her. That's what makes this all work so smoothly. She has relationships with all the different vendors and the transportation entities that we utilize, and I mean, we get people in and out of there extremely quickly and easily, and it's really been supportive to the people in need.
Full transparency, I have her cell phone number in my phone. I worked with her directly. She's amazing.
She's great.
Mr. Chair, I just want to make a few comments. I think the first one is, I think this is an area where the county really showed leadership. And I remember at those early decisions, you, Ryan, and the Board of Commissioners and Jan, this was a hard decision. This wasn't something that was easy for us to do. But I remember saying this is the right thing to do. I remember Commissioner Cameron saying this is the right thing to do. Commissioner Montano at the time, Ryan, Katrina, and it was one of these things where I really felt like the whole was greater than the sum of the parts. You know, we sort of all realized this is the right thing to do, this is the right thing to do for our community, this is the right thing to do for people who are sick with COVID, and we're going to do it. And I remember at the time saying, I sure hope we don't screw this up, because none of us had ever run a hotel before, right? So, I mean, it really was one of these things where you're like, this is the right thing to do, now we have to make it work. And it's really a credit to you, Ryan, and your team that you have made it work, and not just made it work for the people who've been affected by COVID, but all of our wildfire evacuees who needed a warm, safe place to stay, all of our folks who didn't have power during the ice storm needed a warm, safe place to stay. So it's something that I look back and I'm really proud of you and your team and the county for making the hard decision here. That was the right decision for the people of Marion County. And I also share your hope that we can end this contract in June. Because as much as I think it's been necessary, it's also a pretty hefty chunk of change. And even if the federal government's paying for it, once it's no longer necessary for our community, my hope and anticipation would be that we end this contract and really look back on it as a moment where the county stepped up and did the right thing for the people that we serve.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah, I remember these meetings with you in my office and phone calls with the Oregon Restaurant and Lodging Association and a couple operators trying to find the right spot. I think we found the right spot. Yeah. Some people didn't think so at the time, but I just want a technical issue on this contract. The language is indicated by underline and deleted is by brackets. So this extension allows us to go another 6 months if needed, correct? This one's for 3 months, but the way I read this in section 3.2, up to 6 months extension option.
I believe we did put that in there as a possibility.
Right.
Of course, when we were writing this contract, we didn't know exactly how quick vaccinations would be happening. I think at this point, we're hoping not to have to do that, but as a fallback, if for some reason there was a resurgence of COVID, if we saw spikes, you know, we wanted to have some flexibility to extend that.
Yeah, so I just noted that in the contract. So we're only doing 3 months,
We're
but it
doing 3
allows
months.
us to go another 3 if we need it. If something, we have a resurgence or something happens. Okay.
Something unforeseen, yeah.
Commissioner, yes.
So based on the motion that I'm going to make, is the $684,000 for 6 months or is it for 3 months?
For 3.
I'm sorry?
It's for 3 months.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
And Mr. Chair, I'm sorry if I may. You said FEMA's paying 100% of the cost of this. Is that 100% of the $2.8 million?
Yes, so it's they're reimbursing us 100% for the cost of the hotel. So we have other funds that pay for like the wraparound supports, like the food, some of those kinds of things. But for the actual room block agreement, as part of the non-congregate sheltering program, it is paying for that.
This is
full amount.
federal dollars that are paying for this, not our county dollars.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Eventually.
Well, that's exactly.
Jan's ready for that money.
The source of all dollars, we could drill back down to.
Our chief administrative officer is going there, yeah, eventually. Sorry, Jan, to get you choked up. Yeah, okay, so we will take a motion.
Okay, I move to approve amendment number 2 to the room block rental agreement with BP Hospitality LLC that extends the term date through June 30, 2021, and adds $684,000 for a new contract total of $2,884,000 to provide isolation for Marion County residents with no other source of housing that test positive for COVID-19 and require quarantine.
I second the motion.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All right, Ryan, thank you. And again, thank you for all you and your team have done this last, becoming the interim director.
Of the hotel.
No, the interim director. Yeah, exactly. All you've done this last year, and we're just so thankful for you and your team. Appreciate it. Okay. Our next item is under Public Works, and we did have a motion earlier to substitute a board order. Consider approval of an order that we have substituted earlier in a motion adopting temporary use restrictions on North Fork Road Southeast, Gates Hill Road Southeast, and Pioneer Road Southeast. Brian Nicholas is here, and Lanny. Oh, is this another slideshow that I get to see?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, okay.
I'm
All
sorry.
right, all right. You know, some of your people come, is it Ryan comes to the slideshow? I just love it when he
I
shows
know,
up.
Ryan's your favorite public works,
Yeah, I get to watch a.
Ouch. But,
Oh.
yeah. I'll pass that along to Ryan.
We share the love with all of you.
I'll definitely pass that along to Ryan. He'll appreciate it. And next
right.
time I better make sure I have a PowerPoint.
All right.
All right.
Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm Brian Nicholas, Marion County Public Works Director. With me is Lonnie Radke, Marion County Engineer. So we are before you today requesting approval of an order from the board. I'm going to explain what the order would do, and Lonnie's going to discuss some of the background and the reason why we are asking the board for this order. So we're asking the board in its capacity as the County Road Authority to issue a limited access order for the North Fork, Gates Hill, and Pioneer Road county rights-of-way. So what would this order do? It would limit public access to those rights-of-way and would allow access for property owners, property owner guests, any property owner that gets their property access from one of those three county roads. In addition to their guests, any contractors or agents that they hire to perform work for them, including Marion County, because we have property along that, along those rights-of-way. Plus federal, state, and local government vehicles. There's also state and federal lands along those roadways. This order would prohibit access to the Little North Fork of the Santiam River from the county's right-of-way in those three roads. It would prohibit parking, public parking along those three rights-of-way as well. And it would prohibit bicyclists from using those rights-of-way for safety reasons. So we wanted to start out being very, very clear exactly what the order would do. So I'm going to turn it over to Lonnie, and she's going to give folks some perspective on why we're asking for this order.
Thank you. I know that we've all discussed this a number of times in the past, but I wanted to provide a background and identification of the problem and the need for a corridor management plan for the public.
Pull that mic up just a little.
A little closer?
Just pull it
Okay.
closer to you. There you go.
I'm usually
So
not,
we can hear you, but.
folks don't tell me that I'm too quiet. That's not a.
People in the back are leaning in.
Okay.
There you go.
So, we want to make sure that we're sharing information with the public so they understand the need for a corridor management plan in this area. As folks are probably well aware, this recreational area, the corridor at North Fork saw severe damage from the wildfires. We immediately closed the roads, all three roads, North Fork Road, Gates Hill Road, and Pioneer Road, after the fires, and eventually were able to reopen as the roads themselves were deemed safe to travel on. However, there are some safety and environmental concerns, especially as we get off of the roadway. As we move into rebuilding, we have already increased levels of truck traffic, both to remove trees that they're felling and to rebuild the homes and the structures that are up there. The parks and public lands will be closed. That is also a topic that we will be discussing next. But Public Works has been working with the Forest Service, ODF, and BLM. Their plans, at least for this summer, are to keep their public lands closed in this area. So it led us to discuss whether or not we should consider restricting or at least limiting access in the area. If folks are familiar with the recreational area, before the fires, we did have some issues already. The parking lots that we have at the parks are nowhere near the capacity that are truly needed for the demands that are out there for the recreational uses. And we end up with a lot of parking in the shoulder on North Fork Road, which brings issues with visibility, safety issues with visibility, as well as pedestrians that are walking up and down a road with people traveling at speeds. It's a little unsafe it can be deemed unsafe for the pedestrian usage. If we don't consider addressing the corridor management, the demands will not change likely. We will still have people that want to seek out the river on a hot day, and we won't have the parking lots that we've had in the past, and that will only intensify the problems that we see with parking in the shoulder on North Fork Road. So that led us to start a discussion with the board a little over a month ago, discussing the corridor management and how you would like to proceed, and questioning if we want to maintain regular public access on the roadway or if we wanted to limit or restrict the access in some way. And through the work with yourselves, with the board, Public Works, and the Sheriff's Office, there has been interest to restrict access to public recreational use. So we have been working on alternatives. There's a spectrum of options, as we've discussed, with and without barriers. But we need something that is enforceable for the Sheriff's Office to be able to make the impact that they need to make. And so the first step we have is identifying what restrictions we are going to have in place temporarily, which Brian just described are in the board order. And immediately after this board order is approved, we would be moving towards posting regulatory signs and prioritizing some large signs at the beginning of each corridor, again on North Fork Road, Pioneer Road, and Gates Hill Road. We will also we have an extensive signing plan that we're developing right now, and it could be upwards of 100 signs, which will be reminders throughout the corridors that no unauthorized access will be allowed, no pedestrians or bicyclists, no parking throughout the entire corridor, as well as no river access. So we have a lot of work ahead of us with signage, but the first step right now is to approve the board order so we can do this. We will also be working with legal on ordinances to help the Sheriff's Office with their enforcement efforts. We have also just recently started working with ODOT to develop a sign plan for more advanced notice, and we're looking at signing at with discussions with ODOT, we're looking as far back as Cordon Road on OR 22, but we're also exploring whether we can use their variable message signs on I-5. So we'll keep you posted on that. We appreciate that advice to move ahead with that. And so we will be meeting in a future work session. We're working on setting that up here in, I think, the next couple of weeks so that we can identify options for gates and barriers. All in an effort to restrict public access temporarily so that the property owners can rebuild, the trees can be removed, and everybody can really ultimately stay safe.
Great. Want to go first?
You decide. So I just want to say thank you both to you, Lonnie, and to Brian and your teams for moving this up. We have heard from residents up the North Fork that they're being encroached on. I spoke about it last week in the board meeting at the end, just kind of as a gracious warning to the public to be respectful. And this is a necessary evil, unfortunately, of the fires and the ice storm, actually, to protect people from the hazards that are up there, and also to protect those landowners and their property. And I know that there's going to be frustration from the public on this, and I'm sorry for that, but we have to do what's right and safe for everybody, and I do believe that this is the right thing to do. And I also know that Marion County Public Works is working as quickly as possible with the capacity and the funds that we have available to tend to our portion of land and parks, to hopefully be able to reopen, you know, at a time uncertain, of course, but knowing that recreation is a big part of Marion County residents' lives, especially during the hot summer days. But this is very important, and I'm grateful that you're making it happen, and I hope that people can have understanding and grace through this process, because it's important.
Did you have other questions that you?
I have one question for Lieutenant Hunter. So I don't know which chair you want to sit in. Okay. Hey,
Man,
I mean, I'll come sit by you. So my question for you, Lieutenant Hunter, is in regards to the North Santiam waterway. There seems to be some confusion in the public as to who's responsible for the water. Can you tell us who kind of has the authority of the waterway? And let's say that somebody went kayaking up there 2 weeks ago and they came upon some downed hazardous trees in the water and then got hurt. Who's responsible for that?
Okay,
So
first of
two
all,
questions.
Morning Commissioners, Mr. Chair. Nick Hunter with the Sheriff's Office. I'm a lieutenant with the Enforcement Division. So the actual waterway itself, Commissioner, belongs to, so the Oregon State Marine Board has the authority over that waterway. In the current mitigation process, that has been a collaborative effort because the Marine boards cannot get to all of those locations. And so we've been doing drone studies because we can't physically get to all of those locations. And one of the issues that we've been dealing with is the variance in water levels. So as the water goes down, we see some hazards that pop up. As the water comes up, we have additional hazards that are created, not to mention that as the water comes up, we see things moving downstream, upstream type thing like that, that are creating those jams. So the primary function right now is getting to those areas and identifying those hazards that exist. Once those hazards are identified, all of that is given to the Oregon State Marine Board. It's posted on their website, and that's coming from multiple entities. And then the Oregon State Marine Board is then prioritizing their removal or mitigation of those hazards. And a lot of where their prioritization is coming from is where are those most used sites, where are we gonna see the greatest traffic and need, and that's their prioritization. So we have it to get it identified and to help with the identification process, but they're the ones that are mitigating. Now, talking to some of my forced patrol guys and talking to Sergeant Wilkinson, there may be some point that we get to working on our own collaborative side of trying to mitigate some of those, maybe working with Public Works on areas that we're able to get to, just because it hasn't hit the priority point for the Oregon State Marine Board yet you as commissioners and we as a county want to see if we can address that for our residents.
Okay, thank you. And then the second question is if somebody now chooses to violate this board order and enters the waterway and becomes harmed, mostly the question is really about private land. So one of our residents up there was threatened by a group of kayakers recently for a downed tree that was on came off of his property into the water and is currently in the water. And the kayakers engaged the landowner with threats of, if I'm hurt, it's your fault. And I would just like to clear that up if you can. And if not today, I'd like to follow up on it because I think it's important for landowners to have some protections and understanding around what they can and can't do, because obviously they can't enter the waterway and tend to those trees. But also there's processes involved here.
So with respect to your question, I think following up at a later time is going to be easier because the question you just asked is a fairly broad question.
Okay.
And I don't want to try and give a specific answer to a broad question and answer it incorrectly.
Sure.
So several things are going through my mind, but I think it's something we can address later and then follow up with those folks that are looking for those answers to give them the correct information.
Great. We're going to have a town hall in April at the North Fork, and I would love to be able to talk about it there.
Excellent. We can definitely make that happen.
Thank you.
We may be able to talk about it at the other two ahead of time too, just giving people
Sure.
advance warning. I just for the record, I just asked legal counsel, I want to make sure that we don't need to declare this as an emergency when this would take effect if we don't declare it as an emergency today. So Jane is looking that up.
I believe it takes effect 90 days if we don't declare it as an
Right,
emergency.
right.
So let's declare it as an emergency.
Yeah, I think this
Yeah.
is, this is definitely a health and safety issue to the citizens of Marion County and those from other counties that come to visit this area. Do you have some questions?
No, I support this. I think it's important to that community. So
Yeah.
I just want to thank you for moving forward with it.
Yeah, thank you.
Jane, did you have something else?
I just wanted to clarify, to follow up on Commissioner Bethel's question. In general, riverways are owned by the state. So if someone were hurt or injured while navigating a river, it would certainly be, I think, our county's position that it would be a liability would be with the state.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and then there's the whole legal thing on the whole North Fork where people think they own down to the middle of the river. Don't get started on that issue. Brian, I just want to say, this is not only an issue at the Little North Fork. We had a conversation or exchange about other rivers that, and one of the things Public Works is focusing on is any of the debris that's hitting one of our bridges. That's obviously a high priority to us. Your crews are working on those issues as we speak. But you've got the Sandy Ann, the Abaquah, you've got other areas that are highly used places too in Marion County. So, Jane, please.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I was taken a little off guard by your question. This is a board order. It is effective today. It is when we adopt an ordinance that there is a delay.
Okay, so
And
any
so the
ordinance.
ordinance comes later.
As
but
the
today
ordinance
this
we
is
develop, we
effective.
want to make sure that those have the emergency clauses on so we can enforce the issues that we're talking
Yes.
about. So, okay, good. I just wanted to
Thank you.
clarify that.
That's okay.
Great.
We want it to be right today.
No, I just thought of this. I go, we don't want this 90 days from now. We want this tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Yeah, Mr. Chair.
You're just gonna be the chair today, apparently.
You getting tired of it? I was tired. By the end of last year, I was pretty tired of being the chair
It's
too.
only been 2.5 months.
I don't blame you.
I do have one more
At least I've
question.
been signing things as 2021, but I'm still calling you Mr. Chair.
Can I ask Lonnie one more question?
Yes,
What's
please.
your communication plan for this?
Thank you. I was just going to, we were just talking to Jolene Kelly this morning about getting a press release out quickly. And I know we've been working with the Statesman Journal to make sure we're getting that out as well. So public education is a big component. We definitely want folks to know before they enter the corridor to find they have to turn around. So we'll be moving on that pretty quickly.
Perfect. I think
And
it would
maybe a mailing to the property owners.
Oh,
in
I'm
the-
sorry, yes, and then we did discuss that, and then the meeting in April, yes.
Great. And then I just had one more. I was thinking last night, because, there was a lot on the agenda today, so I was awake all night thinking about it. Maybe just contacting the cities up there and giving them, and I know that the press release is coming out, and I love that, but I also think a direct connection to those cities saying, by the way, they're great partners, and they have a list to be able to kind of promote that further, would probably be helpful.
We will definitely do that, and we've been working with the fire district
Yeah.
Great.
to make sure that they were on board with this, and in fact, they were very much in support of the
Good.
heavier restrictions. The idea of gates and barriers are definitely something they support, so.
Wonderful. I love that.
Yeah, and all our ODOT partners that are cleaning up and doing all that other stuff, so good. Okay. Anything else?
No.
All right.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move that we approve an order adopting temporary use restrictions on North Fork Road Southeast, Gates Hill Road Southeast, and Pioneer Road Southeast.
I second the motion.
And we have a motion and a second, and just to clarify, it's the order that we substituted in an earlier motion this morning.
It is, and for the record, if it's okay, I'd like to just point out what the differences are for the public. On page 1, under section A, the posted order says only authorized vehicles. The new order says only authorized vehicles and pedestrians. And then on the second page, under section D, the posted order says no bicyclists or pedestrians, no bicycles or pedestrians. This was changed to say no bicyclists are allowed. So those are the two changes from the posted order.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. We have a motion and a second and an explanation. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay, thank you. And we've got one more that goes right with this. Consider an approval of an order for the temporary closure of the North Fork Park, Salmon Falls Park, and Bear Creek Park campground. Brian, still here.
Again, my name's Brian Nicholas, Marion County Public Works Director. So the second order that is before you is a temporary closure order for North Fork Park, Salmon Falls Park, and Bear Creek Park and Campground. And within that order, it's what does that order do? Well, it is a little more formal action than what staff has taken. We have closed the parks. We've locked the gates and put a closed sign up. This is a little more of a formal action by the board declaring that those parks are closed to public access, because public access to public lands is a fundamental right. So this is, the duration of this is a little longer than the normal park closure. And the reason for the closure, the extended temporary closure, really has to do with public safety. So that's why we're bringing this to you. Central to this is the prohibition of the public using parklands to access the North Fork Santiam River. So since right-of-way is handled fundamentally different, we have a supplemental order here that also covers the parks for the exact same reason. Now, the parks are closed, the gates are there, so it doesn't have parking restrictions and that sort of thing, because it's just not applicable while the gates are closed. But in effect, it would extend that restriction that we just imposed on the North Fork Road, Gates Hill Road, and Pioneer Road corridors to the park properties themselves. And I think it's really important for the public to know that, boy, there is a lot of woody debris moving down these watersheds, and it is a real danger. And if folks are not used to seeing that, if they're used to going to North Fork Park, and there's very little woody debris in the waterway at North Fork Park, and they go now, they will be surprised not only what they find submerged under the water, but what's actively traveling down the water. And that's going to continue all the way through the summer and through the fall. So that public safety aspect is the driver behind this order.
We know we've had tragedies up there almost every year under normal circumstances, and we just need to take this action to prevent those and allow for the right cleanup and to get back going here. So,
Yeah, I was up there a couple weeks ago with Sheriff Cast, and I think a lot of people haven't had a chance to get up there, and it is remarkably emotional to see the damage. And I'm actually going up again on Friday with Sergeant Wilkinson, and I'm going to post some photos because I'm going to really spend some time up in the Opal Creek area, which has a significant amount of damage and has been kind of the target of some recreational interest lately. I'm really, really concerned. People, I think we just don't realize forests in general are could be dangerous, right? You can walk along and something could happen. But in this case, the trees are so incredibly unstable. And the photos that I saw recently from one of our officers was so concerning. I thought, well, I need to go see it, and then I need to create my own kind of awareness around it so people really understand why we're making these decisions. So thank you for doing this. And again, I'm sorry to the public who are going to be impacted. But you know what? There's always creative opportunities to be had, and Lynn County has a great amount of amazing parks that were not impacted, and so does the Gorge. So maybe this summer you just find a different location to go versus the Santiam Forest for your recreation.
It's time to rebuild.
Yeah. Yeah.
this would be, and I know I took one trip up there since the fires up the Little North Fork, and maybe two. And I remember seeing cars parked out in front of Salmon Falls. In front of the gate, and these two orders will say, no, don't even do that, because what they were doing was parking in front of the gate and then walking in down there. So we're saying, don't go up there, just wait, let us get things safer for you. So I'll take a motion if you're ready.
I'm ready. I make a motion, I move to approve the order for the temporary closure of North Fork Park, Salmon Falls Park, and Bear Creek Park and Campground.
All right.
And I'll second the motion.
All right, motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. Thank you, Brian, for all you and your team are doing, and Lieutenant, thank you for the guys that are, you and the women and men that are out there every day in patrol, and really appreciate all their work. Okay, so that ends our normal business of the day.
Would you like me to read the calendar, Mr. Chair?
Why don't I do that for you? You know, this is a long one, and
Wow.
I'm just, you know, I've been
Feeling
calling you
big-hearted
I've been
today.
calling you Mr. Chair all day, so why don't I just go back
It's
to where-
nostalgia is what it
where I
is.
used to
You're
be.
just thinking of the good old days.
Yeah, so
Well, while you're signing,
here,
are you
I'm
gonna
gonna
read the
send.
calendar first,
I'm gonna
or?
send, no, I'll send all these to you. while you're
Okay,
signing.
because I really want to talk about my shirt.
So I'm going to read the calendar. Obviously, today is the 10th of March. Oh my gosh, we're a third of the month through already. And we have a board commissioners policy meeting here on the 5th floor at 11 o'clock. Well, actually, it started 15 minutes ago, and we're not there, but soon after. And we have a BOCCAO meeting right after that, here on the 5th floor. Wednesday, today, again, FEMA briefing for local officials, that's virtual at 4 o'clock. Again, today at 4:30, an I-5 Brooks Interchange Area Management Plan Stakeholder Group, that's virtual at 4:30. Tomorrow at 7:30, the Kaiser Marion County meeting, location in the Kaiser City Hall lobby at 7:30 tomorrow. And then tomorrow at 1 o'clock, Health and Human Services Policy Group in the Commissioners Boardroom, and that's typically if needed, in the 5th floor. On Friday, the 12th, 11 a.m., Association of Oregon Counties weekly COVID-19 conference call. That's via the telephone. Monday, the 15th, calendar review in the Commissioners Boardroom. Tuesday, the 16th, management update at 9 a.m. in the Commissioners Boardroom. Tuesday, the 16th, 2:30, Health and Human Services Policy Group at Commissioners Boardroom. Wednesday at 9 a.m., we're back here. Wednesday at 11, we're at Board of Commissioners Policy Meeting on the 5th floor here in this building. And Wednesday at 12 o'clock, State of the County, virtual. That's gonna be another fun, I think we did it virtual last year too, didn't we, after the outbreak? And then on Wednesday at 4 p.m., we have our weekly FEMA meeting. So there's the calendar. Now you can share.
So I appreciate Jane's observation of how glamorous my shirt is, which says "Be Amazing." And I don't actually wear very glamorous things because, you know, it draws attention, right? But this deserves attention. And the reason it deserves attention is because my dear friend Bonnie Miletto, who's kind of a well-known mentor to all women, and Monday was National Women's Day. She was honored as the Spirit of Salem Award winner through the Salem Area Chamber of Commerce for all the things that she does statewide, but specifically here in Salem. And about 2 months ago, she decided that a program near and dear to my heart, which is CASA, the Court-Appointed Special Advocates Program, needed some good recognition and attention. CASAs have been very instrumental in the lives of children during the COVID-19 crisis. CASAs deal with, they work with kids in foster care. And kids in foster care have been overly marginalized through the COVID process. There's a lot of things that go on in their lives in general. And so this shirt is a representation of the effort and acknowledgement of CASA's and Marion and Lynn County programs, and it's a fundraiser. But I just, you know, I always want to bring attention to really great things. And we didn't have a board meeting on Monday, so I wore it today to bring attention to it. And April is actually also Child Abuse Awareness Month, and so I know that we'll be doing some things around that, and CASA will be highlighted. But that's why I'm wearing my shirt, and I just want to say on the record that I'm grateful to Bonnie and Shani Starr and all the people who have eyes on kids during this crisis that we're under with keeping kids out of school and keeping them safe. So that's it.
That's a great reason to wear a fancy shirt.
Yeah,
Good job, Commissioner.
It is, and I just want to say, Shani and their team has done an amazing job over the last 3 or 4 years. Watching those graduations and how they've just brought so many volunteers on board. And Vice Chair of our Public Safety Coordinating Council, Robert Carney, is a CASA. He shares stories with me all the time about his amazing journey in that, being a CASA. So pretty cool stuff. What else?
We're late for our next meeting, as
This is
usual.
the longest board meeting in my life. 'Cause I've only been here 2 months, and
Kevin's like, oh, just you wait.
Hey, one glass of water got me through. Wait till you, yeah, just wait. There's gonna be something. Well, maybe not, I don't know.
No, 2021 is gonna be the year of no problems. I'm saying it right now.
Wait, we had an ice storm.
I know, somebody finally would. Knock on
We
it.
had an ice storm already, okay.
We got all the problems out of the way last year.
With that statement, before you say anything more,
We're out.
I'm going to adjourn.
Lust and pain, and he kissed her in the pouring rain. Just take her home to something better than drinking alone. And it felt so confined in the meaningless lives, knowing 22 was the best age, but 23 they could never get over. When you called, it was morning and half awake.